Welcome to the second part of my video on how to write an architectural thesis at undergraduate level. Part 1 of this video series dealt with selection of topic. In that video, I had given 12 criteria for selecting a good topic. Do a small exercise before proceeding with your research work. Against each criterion, rate your topic yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest. You may add some more criteria as explained in the first video. Add all your points and take out percentage. Be honest to yourself. Keep watching this video to know the results. In this video, I will be explaining the format of thesis briefly. I will also be giving some directions on organizing the data and writing effectively. A thesis has two parts. The theoretical report, what you call the black book, and the design part, for which you prepare drawing sheets or panels. Here I am discussing the format of the book. The book has 3 sections. The first section is called front matter. The middle section is called the body. And the last section is called the end matter. The front matter includes these elements. First is the title page. There is generally a standard format for the title page that you are required to follow. The title should be informative, it should contain keywords, and it should reveal the topic of the thesis. Besides title, this page should include the name of the author, name of the thesis guide, name of your college or university, and the date. After title page comes the abstract. This is the summary of your thesis. Briefly state the research problem, the methodology, key results, and conclusion. Generally, abstracts are between 100 and 150 words, roughly 5 to 10 sentences. Next is table of contents. List the key subject headings and subheadings of your thesis with their page numbers. Number the front matter section in lowercase Roman numerals. Remember to list acknowledgements, appendices, and bibliography. Then is the list of figures. Include the figure numbers, figure titles, and page numbers. Then give the list of tables. Include the table numbers, table titles, and page numbers. Nomenclature is optional. Here you can list unfamiliar terms, symbols, acronyms, and their meanings. Please note that Microsoft Word has the features to automatically create the table of contents. Using these attributes will not only save your time but also avoid errors. In the thesis body, You provide the introduction, narrative, and analysis of your work. The body includes these elements. First is introduction. Here you shall be stating the purpose of the investigation, the problem being investigated, the importance of the problem, the context of the problem, that is, you can cite previous work by others, and you can also mention your general approach for tackling the problem. This is the first chapter of your book, and it includes the thesis statement, that is, the aim of your thesis, the objectives, the scope, limitations, and assumptions. All these will be explained in detail in subsequent videos. After introduction comes the literature review. Here you shall be developing the theoretical basis for your design. All the study, learning, and background information collected by you to justify your thesis goes into this chapter. Then comes the methodology. Here you shall describe the procedure adopted by you in carrying out your research work. For example, if you conduct a survey through questionnaires, you would mention it here. You will keep on editing this chapter as you proceed with your research. After that, you shall present the results. Usually, your results will be accompanied by graphics. Detailed data shall go to appendix in the end section. Next comes the discussion or the analysis, wherein you shall discuss the meaning of the results, stating clearly what their significance is. You shall compare the results with theoretical expectations and account for anything unexpected. And finally, you will write the conclusions. Here you will be reviewing the results in relation to the original problem statement. You will be assessing the success of the study in light of the criteria of success you gave in the introduction. This ends the body of your thesis matter. And we come to the end part. The end matter is mainly referential material which is too detailed to fit in the main narrative of the work. It includes these elements. Acknowledgements. Here you acknowledge assistance or guidance or support from advisors, sponsors, colleagues, technicians, and so on. This part is sometimes included in the front matter before the table of contents. Appendices. Here provide detailed calculations, procedures, or data in separate appendices. Give each appendix a title like Appendix A, Appendix B, Appendix C, and give an introductory paragraph. At the end of the book, give bibliography. In this, list alphabetically any works referred to in your study. This format given by me is a broad outline of the thesis followed worldwide. This is mainly to guide on what your book should contain and how should be the general flow of writing. There are many variations in the format that are acceptable. You should follow what your institute provides you. The material is more or less the same in all architectural theses. It is only the arranging the matter that differs. For instance, methodology may be included in the first chapter as a subheading and need not be a separate chapter at all. On the other hand, the background study may not be included in the first chapter along with the introduction. Rather, it may be stated as a separate chapter. The number of chapters differ and they are named differently depending upon what you want to emphasize. When you are presenting the results, you may name the chapter as research data. And in this, you can incorporate a comprehensive report of the facts that you have gathered. These may include results of the surveys conducted, which may be in the form of tables, graphs, or filled-in questionnaires. You may also include case studies here, or you may have a separate chapter for presenting case studies. The analysis of all the data and case studies may be done under a chapter titled Analysis of Data, or case studies may be analyzed under a different chapter. On the basis of your analysis, you will be presenting the recommendations for design, where you would be giving your area program along with a design brief on your proposal. You would also be describing your selected site briefly. These can be written under a subheading titled Recommendations, or all these can come as a separate chapter. Here I am giving another format that is being followed by architectural students at undergraduate level. I repeat, please follow the format provided by your college or university. I shall be following this format for explaining all the components of a thesis. These components will be explained in my subsequent videos. Here in this video, I am going to give some general information on the process of writing thesis. How do you start? Plan what you want to do, read all that is relevant, but most importantly, write. What you write can be changed later, but you cannot change anything unless you have something to change. If your thesis is looming ahead of you, daunting in its size and scope, break it down into small pieces. Plot a chapter outline, like number of chapters and their title. Then take a chapter and break it down. Say you are writing about case studies, and you have 3 case studies in mind. So put the names under heading 1, heading 2, and 3. Then write subheadings like project requirements as subheading 1, circulation pattern as subheading 2, and analysis as subheading 3. Similarly, write subheadings for other case studies. After that, write a paragraph or a section about one of your subheadings, regardless of how rough a draft it may be. You need not follow suit of the sequence. Keep following your trail of thoughts. Get some feedback from your guide. The outline will help you organize your ideas, clarify your topic, and formulate a plan of tackling this complex task. Your outline and structure will probably change as you progress, but this is an essential step in the process. As you go through the process of research, you read a lot of material, you collect a lot of data, and you get a lot of ideas. Jot down all these in a Word file. Your Word file would look somewhat like this. You cannot remember everything, and you don't know in the earlier stages that which data or idea might become quite useful later. So keep inserting matter in your Word file. Where you get stuck, leave it or put a comment. Also write citations. A citation is how you let your readers know that you used information from outside sources in your work. It also describes those sources and provides information that allows the reader to track them down. This information could be title of a book, the author's name, the publication date, or the link to a website. You may insert a footnote in the Word file for citing the source, or just write in text form. But do keep writing the references because it would be very tedious later to search the source again. You may keep dumping the data in a single Word file or multiple files. If you're using a single Word file, then be a bit organized in storing the data. For example, while going through an article, you find some information that you need for literature review. So you copy the text and paste it in your Word file under the heading of literature review, along with the link to the source from where you have taken the information. When you read further, you find something that is suitable for formulating your methodology. So you copy that into your file under methodology. Now this doesn't need referencing because this is not data. So no citation here. While writing the methodology, it suddenly strikes you that there are some hindrances in carrying out the research by that method. So this becomes a limitation and maybe reduces your scope of work. So you write that down under the heading of scope and limitations. This also leads you to think that you need to make certain assumptions to go ahead with your work, like you are unable to get the contour map of your site, but you can derive a fairly good contour plan from Google Earth. So you can put it down under assumptions that due to the unavailability of contour map, it is assumed that contour plan derived from Google Earth conveys the topography correctly. So this way you can keep adding to your Word file and later you can synthesize all the matter. Here are some directions that are to be kept in mind while writing a thesis. Don't ever copy text from any published work. This is a capital offense and you could be jailed for that. Write in your own words as you comprehend the things. Don't include photocopied text in your book except as an appendix. Do acknowledge and cite your source. This applies to all possible data sources, including personal interviews. Remember, you are not generating facts or creating data. You are extracting data from some source and you have to give reference to that source. This will save you a lot of effort in explaining some concepts that are not really your own. Do read and check your work. Checking includes grammar, spelling, and composition. It's always nice to be short and sweet. Do include pictures, drawings, sketches, graphs, maps, charts, and other graphics. Architecture is a visual medium, so always reinforce your ideas with figures. Of course, there should be proper captions. Make your reader understand the significance of that pictorial representation that took you hours to make. Don't use abbreviations and unnecessary acronyms and contractions. These are some general tips. Firstly, do not approach your thesis by thinking that you are going to read every word already written on your topic. Otherwise, you will never get started. Moreover, remember that for most people, writing is not easy. Even seasoned writers can still find it a difficult and painful process. We all write differently. Some people need to clarify their ideas before they write. Others find writing facilitates their ideas. Whatever category you fall into, the key is practice. Just write. Write a rough thesis plan to begin with, and this will help provide the direction. Keep in mind your audience when you write the review, and do not presume that they know what you do. When researching your topic, you will have immersed yourself in the subject and will have mastered it. But the reader won't know the things you now know. On the other hand, there is no need to state the obvious. Do make an effort to introduce new ideas, new chapters, etc. This will create a smoother flow of your discussions. And here are some tips on writing. Keep your sentences reasonably short and limit each to one idea. Make sure you use words you clearly understand. When in doubt, keep it simple. Do not use 5 words where one will do. Be precise. Make sure the words you use mean what you intend. Practice writing often and read good writers. And now I am going to tell you the results of the assignment on topic selection. At the beginning of this video, I had given a small task which you must have done, and you would be ready with your percentage. Here are the results. With this, I end the second part of my video. Please see part 3 for further learning. Happy working!